Good evening, everybody, and welcome to James C Starke Radio. I'm so excited. I have got the most awesome guests with me tonight. I've got the Reverend Jack Black McBride and 2 in the chest. Oh, how are you guys doing?
Hey.
Welcome to my luxurious pad here. We're still at the Marriott. Having a great time. And we're all in this room together, man. This is pretty awesome. The room got really small all of a sudden, but it's wonderful because I'm in great company. Rev, how you doing, man?
I'm surviving, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great that you're here. I can tell you that. Introduce everybody for me.
All right.
Pass it around.
I'm the Reverend Jack McBride, of course. Right next to me is little Mary Ella O'Sullivan. Say hello.
Hello.
Next to her is Velvet DeBlanco, the drummer of 2 in the Chest.
Howdy.
And next to her is Noelle O'Shaughnessy. She does all of our merch, and she's our seamstress as well. So you can say hello.
Hi, I'm also the secretary of the awareness tours.
Oh, that's right, Secretary.
She's also the enforcer of everything.
That's right.
That's right.
She's the den mother.
If she's not happy, no one's happy.
You got it.
Next to her is Mr. Jameson Jack Coburn, lead guitar player, 2 in the Chest. Say something there, brother.
Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight?
He's also a great American war hero. I just have to say it.
Yeah.
He was there, and that's my man.
That's right. He served on the Nita, the Nina or the Pinta?
The Santa Maria. I think he served on all 3. You should see him. I think he built one of them.
You think? Well, that was definitely a reference to age, because I believe Jameson Jack Coburn has invented dirt. So, yeah, it might have been the Nina, I think it is. Anyway, sat right next to Christopher Columbus on the way over, I guess, something like that. And all the way over here to the other side of the room, we've got Brewster Schofield Hutchinson on bass guitar.
What's up, y'all?
Yo, all right. There's the band, baby.
Oh, these guys are fantastic. You gotta see this band live, you guys. This is it's an experience. That's all I can say. I can't remember the post I wrote, but it includes everything. It's a Western science fiction, zombie horror, comedy, everything you can imagine on this stage, and the costumes are out of this world. They are one of a kind, the only band like this in the world I've ever seen. And man, tell me, I'll tell you, I have searched to find somebody like these guys, and I'm not even close. They're not out there. So they are definitely one of a kind. You got to see them. How did this whole thing get started?
Well, let's see here. I was born back in, 18... I'm just kidding. So,
He looks like it. I'm kidding.
It depends on if it's real life here, modern day times, or in the story, which we all do have stories, and the band itself has a story. Just to jump off that real quick, there's a radio station in New Zealand that gave us our catchphrase, so to speak. Now, I got to take a deep breath, okay?
It's a long one.
The world's only rustic outlaw southern hard rock and roll / metal band. That's what we are right there.
You know,
yeah.
I tried to introduce these guys one time, and I still have to practice this because I said it like 100 times. I went up there and I twisted that sucker up so many times sideways.
I said,
but I owned it. I took responsibility and everything left like I usually do.
Nobody in the band except for me can say it because I literally wrote it down. I had to have that guy say it again when he told me.
That. There's no way you said it the first time either.
No,
I'm sure you tripped as bad
I had
as
to
I
write
did.
it down and read it over a few times.
I'm not going down alone on this one.
But what happened, reality-wise, is way back in the day, probably 2003 or 4. I came up with the band name, and the concept started coming together at that point. Nothing really happened until I met Velvet DeBlanco at a metal fest, and I didn't know until a month later after I met her that she even played drums. And when we found out, we got together and started working on styles, and it was born, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. And then she decided to get pregnant.
You had nothing to do with that, right? It was all on her, right? Okay, yeah. Rev, come here, Rev. I got an idea, Rev. Yeah.
But
I see how you look at it. Don't even try that with me.
So
Don't
we
even
had
go
to
there.
we had to get the babies out, I guess, and there you have it. And there it is. And yeah, we're pretty close to 10 years by now.
Well, it's
been
amazing
together,
what you guys have been
so,
doing,
yeah.
man. This is really cool. Where are you guys all from originally? Are you guys all
Originally?
Phoenicians? Are we from everywhere? I mean,
Oh yeah.
how did this come about?
Where are you from, there, Brewster?
I hail from Southern Illinois, actually.
Hey, another Illinois brother. Southern Illinois. I'm Northern Illinois, but that's cool. We're still Illinois. Very good. That's awesome.
Where Jameson and Noel get their start from?
We both grew up in California.
California.
Awesome, man. It's both
Yeah.
sides here. Everybody comes together from
And Velvet?
West. We got this.
Where are you
one.
from?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver.
What a-
And little Mariella and Reverend Jack McBride are natives of Arizona. That's right.
That's an oddity these days. That's pretty
172 years for me. That's right.
So it's
cool.
brother.
Woohoo. That's so cool, man. Tell me, you guys have such a cool sound. Let's go into a song really quick here. We've got the first one on here is "Unholy Man." Tell me a little bit. How did this song come about?
Well, we were actually out on tour in 2017, and we were touring on the Iron, Smoke, and Spit album, which was dedicated to the Native Americans that suffered dearly over all these years and are still suffering. Well, some of them aren't. Some of them own them. What are they called?
Casinos.
The casinos,
Those
man.
casinos.
Somebody's making millions.
They deserve it.
But yeah, we were out on tour, and in between some of the shows, we had some time, so we did a little bit of writing out on tour, and Unholy Man, that came up together a couple different ways, and one, the actual final came out of a room in Jameson and Noel's home. Which is really cool room. He's got a train track that takes up the entire room.
Nice.
It's got trains and everything in it. So anyway, I'm in there and I'm doing my writing. And Unholy Man is basically anybody that tries to convince you to do something that you shouldn't do.
Oh, okay. Like all the people we grew up with, like all our buddies and our peer pressure things and
all
all
of our
that
friends.
stuff.
That's
There you
right.
go.
And,
All our friends are idols.
and basically, if you make the wrong choice, you're going to have to pay the price. More or less.
Absolutely.
So that's basically how that song came about. It's a really, really cool song. It's one of my favorites on this new record, Lead Jacket in a Pine Box.
I like everything on this album, and this is definitely one of the hots. Let's check it out. This is Unholy Man from Two in the Chest.
Resist the unholy man.
Promises of riches and fame, but in the end, you're gonna pay. In this life, they say there's no rules, but there couldn't be more wrong. Gotta walk the straight and narrow path, and that'll keep you strong. Close your eyes, bow your head, boy, you gotta pray. Walking in light is a good thing, let me say. Close your eyes, bow your head, boy, you gotta pray. Yeah. Close your eyes, bow your head, boy. Darkness and death may seem cool today. It's no joke, claim your eternity. Ain't no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Ain't nothing but a bit of pain. In this life, they say there's no rules, but there couldn't be more wrong. Gotta be good to your fellow man, and that'll keep your spirit strong. Close your eyes, bow your head, boy, you gotta pray. Walking in light is a good thing, let me say. Close your eyes, bow your head, boy, you gotta pray. Yeah. Close your eyes, bow your head, boy. Oh boy, you gotta pray. Oh boy, you gotta pray. Get on your knees, boy.
Awesome. That was Unholy Man and Two in the Chest. From Two in the Chest, taken Two in the Chest. Damn, if I don't get this right, they're going to get me Two in the Chest.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Some influences. Let's throw these out because your sound is so cool and I can hear so many things in there, but it's so unique. But there's some roots in here. So what am I hearing here, Rich?
Well,
Reverend Rich, Black Jack.
Reverend
Damn,
Black
I'm gonna
Jack
get two
McBride.
more in the chest.
That's okay, man. I got 3 bullets in my gun, 2 in the chest, 1 in the
I got
head.
too much love for him. He's all over the place. I get so many names for this guy. I don't know what to do. I'm going to say novena and go.
Well, you know, it's all for the
I'll be
show,
back.
man. It's all for the show. Everything's important in entertainment.
Absolutely.
Now, what was your question?
Give me some influences. What did you grow up on listening? What influenced you the most to do this sound here?
Well, I couldn't really tell you. It just comes natural. But I'll tell you, when I was a little punk.
When he was a little reverend.
Yeah, my first record was Kiss Destroyer back in '77. And, well, I mean, there wouldn't be a 2 in the chest if there wasn't a Kiss, right? So,
No.
And then my second record was a self-titled 1978 record, Motorhead.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. And then I guess influences would be Helmet, Pantera, Alice in Chains, you know, a lot of the older stuff, Creedence Clearwater Revival, you know, B.B. King, you know, all like blues and stuff like that. I mean, I got a wide array.
Well, it's so cool. Like,
influences.
I watch you live, and like, the song starts out one way, then all of a sudden you got the slider on your finger, and you're taking this whole other avenue, and it's so I can't even explain. I don't even know where to start explaining this. Last time I saw you guys, it was so cool. You got it reminded me of like walking into like an old saloon. You got the dancing girl on stage. You got everything happening. It was so cool. But then the sound just keeps like evolving and going like in all these directions. But it so fits into one. I don't know how you're doing it, but it's so cool. 1 minute you're like playing that. It's just right in your face metal, and then all of a sudden it's sliding into almost like this southern blues country. But it still has that hard drive, but that metal edge never leaves. But man, you do so much up there. You guys do so much. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's obviously the years that are sitting on this couch, you know, that have been in music. I mean, Velvet's been playing drums on and off for how long?
25.
25 years she's been playing drums. And Jameson, you know, retired Navy veteran.
Hallelujah!
He's been playing guitar off and on for a lot of years too, but yeah.
50.
50. So, you know, there you go. But as far as the sound goes, the style was developed in a small practice place in Mesa, Arizona. It's kind of a strange home that we lived in. It was like part mobile home trailer and part stem footing house. It was really a weird house. But we created the style in that room. We went over, we were going to be just a full-on Pantera / Lamb of God metal band, and then we just decided, you know what, there's plenty of that entertainment out there already. Let's do something different. And we just kept popping at different styles over and over again. And then the song Two in the Chest, I think, was one of the first songs. What was the first song?
Actually, it was a song called 323.
323, but is now...
We never played it anymore.
Well,
we stopped playing it.
One of the riffs is mine, and I think it went over to...
Oh, and then
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and then Two in the Chest was the second song. And we're
Right,
still playing it.
we're writing this music, and we're coming up with, you know, we're like, how are we going to make this Southwestern-y? You know, and then I saw a band called Whiskey Six.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them or not, but absolutely, I don't think they're even together anymore. It's a crying shame because they're a very good band. But we actually opened up for those guys at Chasers. And he had this thing on his finger, and it was just hanging off there. And I walked up to him after the show, and I said, "What the heck is that?" He goes, "It's a slide." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "It's called a jet slide." He says, "See, look, I can play leads, and then I can flip it back over and play slide." I'm like, "Dude, that's cool. What's it called?" You know? So went out and bought 2 of them, and I've had one on my finger ever since. And
Now you know, in the old days, Rich, they took the beer bottle and snaps up the
beer
head.
bottle.
Used
yeah.
Brass.
And you know what? I saw some of those at a music store. They're making
No
just
way.
that. Huh? It did look just like the old
Yep.
the beer bottle top. Yeah,
But that's
really cool.
That's what
But
happened.
yeah, that's so
You know,
cool.
I put that on there. I said, "You know what? That's going to add a flavor to this metal that is not out there."
Oh, it definitely does.
So,
when you pull
I,
that thing out now, man. From just seeing it and now to hear him play it, it's like 2 different worlds now.
Yeah, so that's
really
basically it. We just, Velvet and I just worked on the style until we came up with something that we liked, and went out and tested the music without masks on, and it went over well. So we went full concept, head to toe, lyrics to logo, baby.
That's awesome. Now, Miss Velvet, I have to ask you something. You and me have something in common. We can barely get on that stage without seeing anything 2 feet in front of us, and everybody knows I'm half-black. I trip on everybody's drum set or this or that.
Can't
It's
see
been like
anything.
2 shows in a row. No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's not, because I did wipe out once on Saturday. So I was doing good. I had 2 shows in a row without wiping out. But I have to ask you something. You really rock on these drums, and I know it's hard for you to see stuff, and you're wearing that mask on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we working muscle memory now when just our arms are doing the work, or we got to set those drums
it's-
up a certain way? Because
I have to set them a certain way. I like everything close. It's just how I'm a jazz-oriented person, so everything's kind of close, and then it's all muscle. I don't really technically have to look. I can actually close my eyes and then.
Because of history,
that's what I
right?
have to do with a lot of
So-
my instruments too, because it's really hard. It doesn't matter if my glasses anymore because my sight's going too. So
Yeah.
I get it. So we're in the same boat there. So I was just wondering if you're doing the same thing I'm doing and
I
we're getting
am.
through that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I just-
So that's how we rock, man. It doesn't matter. Well, as long as we can play, we're happy. You know what I'm saying? But you're doing such a great job back there. And in the little one over here,
Yeah.
our midget is also hopping on the drums occasionally. And man, she plays that tambourine like I do, man. She gets into it. Except she does one thing, or I do one thing that she doesn't do on that tambourine that I do much better. And I crack myself in the nose every time I turn around and I pay attention. Right across
Oh,
the
ow.
So that's one thing I can do better than you.
Crack yourself in the nose.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not, but no. So just pay attention to that. So every time you see a video of me going down, I crack myself with that wooden end. It's always the heavy one, too, I hit myself with. I always hide it pretty well. I always turn around at that time about black out, but I'm back in there. So, but you have it so much better. You have like so much control over that thing. I don't know how you do it. It weighs more than you do, and I can't even control my heavy one. But even my light one, I lose that all the time. So, kudos to you, darling. You're awesome.
You use a plastic one, don't you?
And God, you should see her on stage. She is a little showgirl, man. She is awesome up there.
Stealing my thunder.
Oh, totally. I can go you guys half the time when she's up there. I'm right in front of her going, yeah!
I'm not trying.
Well, good. That's half of it. She's up there loving it. That's all good, sweetheart. Tell me about some touring plans here. I know you've done some stuff before, but on top of just the band doing this, you got the awareness tours going.
Right.
So you've got all kinds of plans, and can we talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, touring is pretty much on hold until the awareness tours gets going, because the only thing we're waiting on is a tour bus, a trailer, heavy-duty dual-axle trailer, and a pilot car. And as soon as that comes in, we'll get sponsors, and we'll head back out on tour. And the reason I say that is because 2017 we went out on tour and to find out how much it costs to tour, and it's about $9,000 a month.
Yeah, it's expensive with the whole crew like that.
So, yeah, it's not cheap to go out on tour. So until it's actually paid for by sponsorship, to be able to make sure that all the money that comes in at the shows goes to the awareness tours, housing homeless veterans through entertainment,
which is a phenomenal
we're probably not going to do. I mean, we'll do short tours, little weekend tours and stuff like that, but we're not going to be hitting as far as we did in 2017, that's for sure.
That's okay, though. You've got a plan that we've talked about, and you've got a great plan ahead. We're going to keep that a secret right now, because when that comes out, it's going to be amazing, and it's not too far away.
Right.
And I'll keep you guys posted, because Rich is going to be taking a little vacation here for a second. And, it's okay, though. He's going to feed us all our links and stuff that we need, and I can feed you guys all the information. We're going to be doing really good. It's such an awesome thing. We have another one coming up here. Was it on the 28th?
Yeah, it's an Awareness Tours fundraiser on the 28th. It's actually really cool, that one.
No, I'm going to be there because you're going to be missing that one. And I'm taking the reins for you on that one.
Right, I want to be here, right.
Absolutely. But I want everybody to know about that. So tell us a little bit. On the 28th, that is going to be at Starlight Lounge again. And there's a really great lineup for that.
September 28th.
September, I'm sorry about that.
Right.
Yes, September 28th. You guys, when you do come out there, some of the stuff that we need, definitely we need some money donations. So, just reach in your hearts and pocketbooks a little bit, throw a little something at the door. But toiletries and sleeping bags, and think about what you would need in the upcoming winter, and that's what they're going to need. So if you can just pull it out a little bit and just bring a donation, bring something, some canned foods, toilet paper, toothbrushes,
Socks,
shoes,
sweatshirts,
clothes,
jackets,
anything. You don't have to go out and buy
Boxer
stuff,
briefs.
man. Take the stuff that you're going to give to the Goodwill and just box it and bring it to the show. We're going to get use out of it, and it's going to a great cause. I'm part of this now. I promise you guys. Take my word and take Rich's word. I wouldn't do this with Rich if I didn't believe in this cause. So I definitely believe in him, and I'm honored to do this for him. And so I'm counting on you guys to help me, help him, to help them. Okay? You guys hearing me? Good. Okay. You guys hearing me? Yeah. All right. So we got to work together to do this. Now, before we get to our next questions, let's get to another song here. Tell me a little bit about Jimmy Shuck Corn. This is one of my favorite songs that you guys have done because of the message. I don't want to say it, though. I want it to come out of your mouth. Please, Rev.
Let me just say
ahead.
something here real quick.
Yes, sir.
This is
That's
a
JJ.
prime example of the Reverend's songwriting ability. This is from the heart, and I think this is one of the strongest songs we do because of what it's about, and because of the way it's written, and because after all that, it rocks.
Oh, I've been telling you, this is my most favorite song you guys do, and just because of the message. alone. And yes, it
I
does
agree.
rock.
Totally.
Everything is in there, but the message is great. Reverend, please tell us the story.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying I really can't. Every time I try to talk about it, I can't contain myself.
That's okay, because
So
it comes from your heart.
Whenever I'm on stage, I usually don't intro this song and tell a story because whenever you get choked up, it's kind of hard to sing and give you the power that you guys expect. So I'm going to turn it over to Raiden's twin, and that's Samara. She's going to tell you a little bit what the song's about and what her brother is all about. Go ahead there, Mary.
Well, the Jimmy Shuck Corn song is about like a kid, an autistic kid. The song is about an autistic kid, and
that autistic kid is
your... technically my brother.
Technically.
Technically.
No, he's your twin brother.
Yeah, technically.
Or
Twin
technically,
brother.
he's your twin brother, baby. Talk about him. Let's hear about him. Tell me about that song.
Jimmy Shuck Corn is about like in his mind, what he's going through in his mind, a locked door with no escape.
Yeah, well, it's basically what she's trying to say is that in a lot of the autistic children's minds or autistic people's minds, they survive off of sensory issues, and things can be going on around their lives right in front of their face, and they not notice it because the only thing that attracts them is something sensory, like in the song. Yeah, a squeaking door, a rhythmic trot of a horse, or a train whistle that blows off steam. Basically, is what you'll hear in the song, and that's all they hear. I mean, in the story, his father literally gets killed and dies at his feet, bleeding to death, and what he notices are things that touch on his sensory. Did you have something to say?
I was just talking about that day with the motorcycle.
It's okay.
So, what about a motorcycle?
He had that motorcycle on super loud. I tried to have him do some stuff.
Oh, my
around the
Harley?
house, and he would not listen to me. He was just like focused.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, what she's talking about is I had my bike running, warming up, and he was focused on the sound, the rhythmic of the pipes of the idle, and he couldn't concentrate on anything else but the idle of those pipes. And that's basically what this song's about, is life goes on around you, but you don't see it because you're focused on something that helps your sensory issues. Is basically
Sensory,
it.
rhythm, beats,
Right.
motions,
Right.
colors, lights, all
Right.
that kind of stuff. And I
Exactly.
can relate with that. 'Cause
But that's what Jimmy
I
Shuck
feel
Corn's
that,
all
and
about.
that's wonderful. So let's check it out, you guys. Jimmy Shuck Corn from Two in the Chest.
And the bullets flew.
Jimmy Shuck Corn from Two in the Chest. Oh, thanks for the save there, Reverend. Oh, man, I almost pulled a Tony noise on that one. Tony, if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. All right, you guys. Tell me about some future goals we have. What's coming up next for Two in the Chest?
If you've been to a Two in the Chest show, you know we try to give you the best possible performance. That's what we're all about, music and visual performance. So every, I guess, section or degree of Two in the Chest, we want to make it that much better. So we are going to be pushing forward in 2020. You guys should expect a lot of new stuff, possibly even videos while we play and other stuff like that. You know, maybe even more players on stage. You know, we want to move a little bit further forward on the performance aspect, because we know you guys enjoy the music, and we thank you for that, for all the support that all you guys have been giving us over all these years. And we just want to continue to bring to you guys the best possible performance for you to enjoy for the rest of your life.
That's wonderful, man. And you know what? We're looking forward to that, Rich. We really are. You know, you guys do such a great show. You do so much for the community. You do great things, man. So we're always expecting something new. We're excited when something new is coming out. Now, really quick, Miss Noel,
Yes.
how do you keep these guys in line? Because this is a wild bunch here. What do you do here? Because you got to run the merch, the management, everything. What do you got? How do you handle these turkeys?
Oh, I don't know. It's
Do you got to chase them around with a shotgun, threaten them a bunch, or is it a taser now? Because we're in the future here, or are you still going old school, the old west? Just break out the whip and just.
that's pretty much it. It's like herding cats.
and who's your biggest challenge?
Probably Miss Mariella.
He keeps us all on her toes.
That's funny.
Oh, you guys are lucky to have her, Miss Noel and Miss Marielle.
She's our go-to girl. We need makeup, we need this, we need a hairband, we need this, we need whatever.
And she's got
She's always the one.
Rip a hole in her crotch when we're trying to do something stupid on stage.
Everybody calm before we.
She's got the needle and thread right there, ready to go.
If you need earplugs, if anybody needs earplugs, you just go to the table there and.
You probably would have been a great cornerman in the box. You
Absolutely.
could throw a stitch, stop the blood,
Yeah.
fix the makeup, whatever
When we
you got
go on
to do.
stage, all the other bands do a sound check, and then they start. We do a sound check, then we have to leave. We have to go out and get our makeup. I mean, most of the time we have makeup on, but we have to leave and go get dead. And so
Yes.
you should see it in the back. She's Tanya, where's my hair?
I got to
Tanya,
experience
where's my
that
makeup?
once.
Tanya, where's
I
my
did
mask?
experience
Tanya, where's
that.
my hat?
I did get to see that firsthand,
Oh,
and it was awesome.
She's
It was
always there,
awesome.
Everybody goes, shut up, it's right here, and then the next thing, and then, everybody.
It was like herding chickens, but she was
Exactly.
doing it.
Yeah,
It was like, wow,
It
she's the
happens all the
talent.
time.
And
It
then
was so
she
cool.
starts the show. Once she makes sure everybody is ready, and their masks aren't all crooked and stupid looking. She goes in there and she fires up the show, and we go in there and give you guys the best
She's
possible
the first
prize.
one that shows up with a mask on and goes up and hits the button and starts the show.
Yep.
Noelle is amazing.
Yes, she is. We love her.
That's great. Oh man! Now, can I ask you?
No.
Can I demand from you? I'm kidding. Can you tell us a little bit about your songwriting process, or are we going to keep that sealed? Because I know that's pretty kind of a secret thing here, and you don't have to say it because you don't have to share anything.
I'll give you a little bit.
But you can give us a
okay.
hint.
The way I write is something that I put together over several years. I mean, it didn't come overnight.
Right. It's kind of a ritual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you the process, but I'll tell you how it gets started. For instance, Black Lung off the new record Lead Jacket in a Pine Box. You'll never know it, but that song was born out of a influence from ZZ Top's La Grange.
Oh, cool. See, I love these stories. I love the history of these things come from.
Because I love the way that hits that the open A and then he taps on the C string on the A string, and it's just, I'm just, hey, the way he does it, and I just went with it, and Black Lung was created, and another song that we do on this record too, I believe, Pony Express is on the new one, right? Or the old one?
Done the old one.
Okay, so Pony Express is on Iron Smoke and Spit. That song came out of what's the name of that band that does Black Betty?
Which version?
The main version, our version, the one we like.
Oh man, I'm even drawing a blank, and I love that
It's
song.
not the Spider Bay version. 'Cause that
No.
one-
No.
It's from the 70s.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam, blam. Whoa, Black Betty, bam, blam. Black Betty had a job, bam, blam. Damn thing going wild, bam, blam. Okay, we got it. So you guys all know what we're talking about, but man, we're drawing a blank, and that's horrible for me. But
That's one of my most
Ram
favorite.
Jam.
Ram Jam, woohoo!
Okay,
That's one of my most favorite songs, and I wanted to do it as a cover, and then.
Right, and I'm like, we don't do covers, but I'm like, okay, I'll just write something that's kind of like it,
Yeah.
So I took the influence from Black Betty, and we wrote Pony Express, which is, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that Pony Express, if you don't know what it is, you youngsters out there, they used to deliver mail by horseback, running, 15 miles, and then grabbing another horse and running another 15 miles and then turn around and coming back, over and over and over and over, just a relay.
We're very educational.
And it was only...
A history lesson right here.
Yeah, and it was only 18 months. It was in business for 18 months, and then Telegraph put them out of business. Yeah. But anyway, I got that song influence of Pony Express from Ram Jam.
That is so
Black
cool.
Betty, yeah. So that's how I get a lot of my songs. A lot of the time, I'll be reading a story, like the new song on Lead Jacket and the Pine Box, Big Jim Miller. It's called Killer Miller. Deacon of Death.
Deacon of Death.
He went by Killer Miller, Deacon of Death.
We're going to play that a little bit later, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's on our list today.
So this guy, he went to church, and he was a so-called Christian guy, is what he professed. But, at times people would walk in the building and tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, we got a job for you. Well, his job was killing people. So he'd go out and kill people, take care of that business, and then go back into church and start praising God. I mean, the guy was a twisted individual.
Yeah.
And so that's what the Deacon of Death is all about, that twisted individual.
We're talking about that one now. Let's skip right
story.
to that one. And before we get to that one, I want to remind everybody that 2018, you guys won the Arizona Metal Music Awards for Best Live Performance. I just have to throw that out there before I forget, because everybody knows I'm a scatterbrain. So I wanted to throw that out there before this. But now that we're talking about that song, let's listen to that now. And let's check it out. Is that cool? All right.
Sounds good.
This is Deacon of Death from Two in the Chest.
Welcome, folks. Come on in there and let's rejoice in the Lord. Yes, come on in. Thank you. Well, welcome to this morning service. What a wonderful day of the Lord it is. We continue today with
Mr.
more
Miller,
teaching on
I do
them
apologize
Ten
for
Commandments.
interrupting your service,
And we'll
but
start
this
off with
seems
saying they're
very
all
urgent.
sad
It
and
came in
fearful
a
thoughts
few
connected
short
with
moments
these
ago.
commandments,
Okay.
but there are also
Thank you,
very
boy.
blessed thoughts connected with them as well.
This man of death, not one you want tonight. He's a soulless man, Killer Miller. He's a deacon of death. He's a soulless man, Killer Miller. He's a deacon of death.
Okay, give me a second. I gotta find my face. It's all over the floor or something. It's like melted. Every time these guys get around me and I crank this stuff up, half of me disappears.
Let me find the mop.
Ugh. Anyways, that was Deacon of Death from Two in the Chest. Just amazing. All right, you guys, you gotta tell me the big one. This is my favorite question. What is your pre-show ritual? Not when you're first on stage, because that's my next question.
Okay.
But
You guys
before you go
start,
on
'cause
stage
mine's
and you're
gonna take a
backstage, he's got to go say a few novenas or something. Let's start with you,
I exercise.
my Miss Velvet de Blanco.
I do
love it.
calisthenics.
Calisthenics. So you back there
A lot
exercising?
of stretches.
Yeah.
I tap on a practice pad,
Uh-huh.
and then I work with my legs. Get those
Not
calves going.
true.
I do.
You really?
Yes.
I have a drum pad, or sometimes if I don't have the drum pad, and this is what she's talking about. Last time I had to use my drum seat.
Oh, okay, whatever works. Whatever works.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that often, though.
Oh, no, she needs to, but that's what her. What's your ritual?
What's your ritual?
What's your,
What
you
do
Miss
do?
Talkative, get over here. I want to hear what you have to do before you get on there.
Well, I
Uh-huh.
usually just
Mm-hmm.
practice. Not practice, but I mean,
You just talk a lot.
I talk a lot.
She asked if she can go to her friend's house 10 minutes before we have to leave.
Brewster, you look like you're thinking really heavy here. Come on, what are you going to share with us?
Normally what I'll do before a show physically is I'll go drink like a 6 ounce of Royal Crown Cola, stare at the wall and contemplate what I'm doing.
How'd you find myself?
And then once I figure out what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, let's start getting ready. Then I hear the crowd, I'm like, I'm gonna go home now.
I want to run.
But then after I
Get
get
out
up
there
there,
and you love it.
after I get done and get my face on and everything like that, I have to remember I'm Brewster, and Brewster is just the creepy spastic bass player that likes to jump around and stare at people.
Yeah, he's creepy, that's for sure. He's not there.
Stare at people.
I'm not going to tell you what he looks like without his mask. He's actually quite.
No, don't tell him.
You know what? I'm going to leave it right there. Yeah.
I'm
think it's
ugly,
more
I know
fun.
it.
If you can find him, good for you. But I get to see him right now. Anyway, all right, you guys. All right, who's next here? Come on, JJ. What are you thinking about before you get up there? What's going through your mind? What's your ritual?
Due to a previous bad experience, I limited my intake before shows to clear liquids.
There you go. Hydration.
Preferably ginger ale. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm I'm excited to get on stage with this band because I've played with a number of different bands, and some, I know what it's like to get on stage with a band you're just really not sure about, and it's not something I ever want to do again. When we get ready to play, and we do our things before the show and get the makeup on and do all that, to me that's just more and more exciting because I cannot wait to get on stage and strut our stuff, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I mean, this band is the best band I've ever been in, and I cannot wait to get on stage and show them what we got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
great.
that's, you know, and I don't want to sound arrogant, and I don't want to sound, you know.
Oh no, not at all. That's how
I've
you
heard-
feel. That's what it makes you feel like.
I listen
It's
to bands.
wonderful.
I listen to a lot of bands these days because of the awareness tours and the things we do on, and I hear a ton of guitar players that are better than I am, but I don't hear any bands that are better than this.
Gotcha. Okay, that's not arrogant at all. That's belief and it's confidence, and that's pretty damn awesome. Besides, he's older than Dirt. He's been here first, so he's got the full say. Just kidding.
He's been in a few bands.
Oh,
too,
this man's
so
a hero. That's nothing.
that
but
makes me
respect.
feel good when he says this is the best band I ever been in. But the funny thing is, it's the best band I've ever been in. You know, it's the longest running band, that's for sure.
Well, you know, when you got something right, the chemistry works. You got to
Family.
run with it. You know what I mean? You
But
know,
a ritual.
3 years.
Yeah.
I've been in this band 3 years now.
Yeah.
yeah. So let's
3 years.
hear,
We're going to
Rev.
talk about that.
Since you've been dodging the subject, and everyone's talking
Oh,
about it.
oh,
Let's go.
all right.
You're on the spot now.
My my ritual is I don't like doing anything on day of show because I've got so much that I do to entertain the crowd. You know, I've got my pedals, I've got to hit, make sure everybody is in the right
Oh my
spot.
God! If you guys haven't seen his pedal board, by the way, it's pretty amazing.
You
But
know,
anyway,
and you know, bring you the intros and this and that, and remember the words and the parts and this and and just everything. And it's very overwhelming. So I don't like doing anything before the show. And it's really the ritual is just get on there and give them the best doggone show that you can give them. And for one, and two, don't rush me. Because it throws me off, and then I screw everything up. You know, so everybody knows that. And when you get there, hey, how long is it going to be? How much money you got to fight? You got to, you know, it's I don't rush me.
Shut up!
Okay,
Yeah, I got you.
if you got to cut our set 10 minutes because I'm not freaking ready, then cut it 10 minutes. Just let me know so I can take the songs out. You know what I mean?
You don't need the blood pressure.
That's right, exactly. And I'm 172 years old after all.
You know.
Well, sucking dust. But anyway, but no, that's it. I get really anxiety, you know. So don't rush me. Don't rush me.
Hurry, Rich! Come on! Next question.
We always go to that store. We always go to a store and get like a soda or a drink or something, and then we'll.
Yeah, you got to do something.
But anyway, yeah, that's basically.
What's the last thing? You're all on stage now. Okay, we're waiting for that count from Miss Velvet.
Okay.
What's the last thing going through your mind as she's hitting that count to start?
Is my volume up?
Brewster.
Did I button my pants?
JJ.
Is my guitar turned on?
Yeah.
Velvet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Pee-wee.
I don't know.
Oh, she's not on stage. She doesn't do that. She doesn't stay on. She comes later.
Not be on stage.
Oh, but she's still part of it. She's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, before you still got to get up there. So what are you thinking right before you step up there?
Is my mic on?
Can I see through my mask?
Yeah.
Does that mask
Yeah.
weigh?
Earplugs.
Does that mask looks like it weighs more than you weigh? You hold it up there.
All
That is
custom made, by the
amazing.
way. But I do want to step back and let you know that there's been a lot of changes in Two in the Chest. Brewster's actually the 10th bass player that we've had to dig up.
12.
12.
12.
You couldn't resurrect the
I
other ones.
lost
They
two.
finally just dust and bones, and that was
So
it.
we're at 12, I guess,
he's 12.
bass players. And it's not for any specific, reason. It's just, people move on. And,
It's all about chemistry. It's all about chemistry.
that's a whole nother subject, man, because that is key in a band that's that stays together successfully.
Well, the point I was trying to make a couple of shows ago, I was trying to explain that you you get so close as a band, you get that brotherhood and everything going, and then they break up, it's like this horrible divorce and crap. You gotta understand, just because it doesn't work out there, you're still gonna help each other find another one. If you stay close to it, it's all about chemistry. We could all sit in here and try to jam together. It's gonna work, or well, obviously it works with you guys, but throw me into the mix, it may not work at all. But it may work. It's like if somebody, you know what I'm saying? You gotta switch and try it out, and you can't get angry with each other if it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It may work with another guy in another band, and they may be wonderful, but it just didn't work with you and him, or vice versa. So having that big fallout and all that crap, that needs to be just
right.
If it doesn't work, help me find something that will. You know, and you shouldn't be killing each other. There's no more competition here. We need to be helping each other. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you guys are a great example of that. You guys
being
are
a
always,
DJ, you know, you kind of meet a lot of bands, and you see them form, and then you see them dissolve.
Yes.
So in my over 6 years of doing the Dust Bowl Metal Show, sorry plug.
Oh, awesome! That's a great
on
show.
Cranium Radio.
Dust Bowl Metal Show.
So, but the thing is you see these bands, they come together, they're awesome, then they break up. Well, a lot of key factors in that is you got to have a leader. You've got to have somebody that's up there conducting the orchestra,
Maestro.
If you don't have one of those, then nobody's going to be together,
Yeah.
If you got too many people up there trying to orchestrate.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
Exactly. So, and that's what I'm seeing. And don't bring politics and religion into the band. Keep it out, and that'll hold your band together.
Absolutely.
Point blank.
Absolutely. Let's get on to another song here. This is the title cut, if I'm not mistaken. I don't need to cut you up.
Lead Jacket in the Pine Box.
Lead Jacket in the Pine Box. Where did this idea come from? I love that title. I love that whole theme. Tell me how this came about. And there's a story behind this.
It's like the shirt.
The guy's name is Barry Dean Socks.
See, I knew there was something here. No, it's just like a history lesson with our old time.
In case you guys didn't catch that,
he has his
Barry Dean Socks. Barry Dean Socks. Got it? Didn't keep his yapper shut, so he's wearing a lead jacket in a pine box. That's right.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Title cut, Lead Jacket in the Pine Box from Two in the Chest.
Hey Joe, do you think the words was okay on the box? Why sure, Double Dan, they was mighty fine. They was, what were they again? Well, let me see here. Here lies Barry Dean's socks. Didn't keep his yapper shut, so he's wearing a lead jacket in a pine box. Well, yes, Double Dan, them's is some fine words. Yes, they were great.
What does it profit a man if he gains the world and loses his soul? A box of bullets in his bag, it's revenge he seeks, forgiveness, not a chance. I say, blessed is a man that walks a true step and turns from the past that'll say no man will die in a twinkle of an eye. So watch your step or catch one and you'll die. Lead jacket, pine box.
the Pine Box from Two in the Chest. You guys, it's been so great having you here. I'm so happy we finally got together to do this. A couple things I'd like to ask you before we wrap this up tonight. When we were talking a little bit before this, Velvet, when you guys are coming up with ideas, you were mentioning something when you were off air here about how you come up with your drum bits and how you record them and then go back and think. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's amazing the things you can pull off.
Oh, we'll work together because, you know, he's my husband, so we have a lot of time. Sometimes we can work together. And sometimes he'll record it. If I don't get the drum parts, closer?
I know you couldn't see me. I know you couldn't. I'm waving and I can't even see you that far away. I need you closer.
So he comes up with the riff or something, and then I will come up with the drum part. Primarily, if I can't think of anything, I have him record it, MP3, and then I listen to it while he's at work. And then if I have a drum part that I like, I stick with it. I don't like to change anything. That's how I play live. What you hear on the CD, that's how I play live.
That's
I don't like to
exactly.
change.
No, you don't at all. You're right there with that. But
Yeah.
you just come up with some really neat stuff. I'm very impressed with that.
It helps the guys
too. And
to be
it's
consistent.
Cool. And you got to fight through that whole thing that we're both fighting.
Yeah.
You can't see anything we're doing, but you can still do it, and that's the greatest thing. You feel your way through it. Music is such great therapy for everything.
And that's how I started too, because of anger.
There you go. Oh, what better thing?
I had a lot of
What
anger.
better, if you're going to be angry, what better instrument than the drum?
I know, right? I used to pretend that was
You just gotta hit it like you hate it.
Freaking face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why. And then when I play live, I work with the metronome practice, studio, and live. I always use that metronome.
Well, that's good. You got to get it in there because the meter is everything with the drummer. Once you lose your meter, it's over. You know, you got to build that back up. Mr. JJ, Jameson Jack Coburn, the 42nd. I'm only kidding. This man has sailed the 7 seas for our country. He has done amazing stuff, and he's also a wonderful guitar player on top of that. How did you get in this band, JJ? I know this is kind of a cool story.
I was playing in a band called Building Stonehenge, and we had played a couple of shows around town, and actually did a couple of shows with Two in the Chest when they didn't have a lead guitar player. It was just Rich and Rachel and a bass player, and so the band I was in kind of split apart, and you know how those things happen.
Absolutely.
And I saw a note one time from Rich, said that Two in the Chest was looking for a lead guitar player. Ooh. So I'm like half in the bag, and I'm going, yo, Rich, you know, I didn't even hardly know him. Going, I'm not really a shredder or anything. If you're looking for a shredder, I'm not your guy. But we played a couple of shows together, and maybe you remember, blah, blah, blah. And so the next thing I know, I've got these 8 songs he sends over to me. He goes, learn these. You know.
Yeah, here you go.
And so my first thing is I'm listening to these songs. I'm going, this is awesome, man. Listen to these songs, man. This is so cool. And then it dawned on me
I gotta learn how to
that
play
I got to learn how to play this shit. You know?
I love it. Yeah.
And I'm going, holy crap, you know. And so I became terrified, you know, because I'm going, I'm just going to go up there and make a fool of myself. And so I listened to these songs and I tried to learn them, and I swear to God I lost like 30 pounds over a month or so because I was just terrified. And unbeknownst to me, Rich had checked around when I said, you know, hey, maybe, you know, I'll check me out. He checked around with a couple of people, and including the people I used to be in a band with, and Dennis Kennis was the bass player, and he told Rich, well, he's got a very supportive wife, which she turns out to be making everything for the band. But anyway, so he did his homework, and he checked me out. So we went over there, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, you know, I tried for a month to get out of this, but Tanya and Dennis would not let me back out. They said, you're going over there, and you're going to go try out for this.
You're going to do it. You're not back.
So I finally went over there, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, the worst that can happen is I can just embarrass myself in front of those two, and they'll send me home, and then, you know, nobody will know. But then I thought, no, the worst thing that can happen is he'll say, okay, you can be in the band, And then within weeks, everybody will know I'm a fraud.
Oh,
You know,
shit.
everybody will know that I can't do this shit.
Yeah.
You know? Well, it turned out.
He pulled it off.
Bottom line is, you got to get out of your comfort zone, and I was like way out of my comfort zone because I was doing stuff that I'd been comfortable with doing, and now I had to go get out of the zone. I had to go learn some new stuff. I learned to play in drop D. I had to learn to play this music that was so good and pull it off to the point where I could convince them I should be in their band. And you know, and I was terrified, but you know, it turns out it worked out well.
I was
And I'm
gonna
here
say, you pulled
3
it off
years
great.
later, and I'm just
You pulled it off
I'm
great.
having a blast. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, you know, I'm really happy it all worked out for you guys because the chemistry is working here for sure.
And 3 years later, here he is.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. The chemistry is that there are no egos in this band, and there's nobody who thinks that they should be louder than anybody else, and there's nobody who thinks that they're better than anybody else. And as a team, I think you know, that's why we're here tonight. That's why we're going to be here in the future,
Absolutely.
because this band is a family.
It's a family. Every doggone Sunday we eat dinner, and that's something I'm going to miss when I leave for 6 weeks, is that Sunday dinner
Yeah.
over
We had
at
practice
Grandma
on
and
Sunday,
Grandpa's
we all
house.
over for Sunday dinner with the band. You know.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's,
that's another ritual.
That's great. Though, so you have to have those things, and that's what builds all.
keeps
this.
us together.
And tell me something, guys. What advice can you give for the younger upcoming bands, the babies? Some do's and don'ts. Some little bit of advice, maybe.
I think we can all agree: practice
And don't give up.
and don't give up.
Say that again, Brewster.
Don't give up.
Don't
Mine,
give up.
mine is just practice with the metronome.
There you go.
Keep your ego at the door.
Very
Right.
beautiful. Very beautiful. Very good, you guys.
What's yours, Sam? Do you have any for kids your age?
Any advice for kids that want to become a musician your age?
Grow up with parents that are musicians.
Yeah.
Make sure you're a good drummer
Practice.
and practice a lot.
Yeah, practice. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna just elaborate a little bit on the practice thing.
Do it.
Two in the Chest practiced a long time before we played our first show. A long time. And because we didn't want to go out there and make the first impressions bad. And so that's what you got to do. You got to get back in that studio and you got to rehearse and play like you're playing to the audience. Don't play to your fretboard. Your fretboard is not who you're entertaining. So, and that's just where I wanted to elaborate, is get in there and practice. That's important.
That's a big one. What are your biggest struggles? What do you think? What are the biggest struggles you've had as musicians or as
Time.
Time.
Oh, it's the timing thing. Well,
No, not timing, time.
well,
for me.
Raiden for
Right,
us.
well, Raiden, yeah. Well, you know, that brings up another question. I've had several people. How many people have come up to you and asked, "Why aren't you guys famous yet?"
Oh yeah.
Well, because we have an extreme autistic son. We can't just take off. We got to find somebody to watch him, you know,
Yeah.
and we got to pay for somebody to watch him, you know. So I mean, again, if it weren't for Noel and Jameson over there, the tour would have not happened because they helped pay for Raiden's care when we were gone, you know.
Gotcha.
So it's
That's an important thing.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
a lot.
and he's not
I
cheap.
understand that struggle too very well.
You can't knock on the next door
I'm
neighbor.
totally with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah.
Before we take it out of here, is there anything else, any shout outs you want to give? Any thank yous? Anybody you want to plug? Any sponsors you need to say hello to? Some fans?
I have one. The Best Clothing Company.
Awesome.
They usually hang out at Joe's Grotto,
Okay.
and they're awesome people. I have one of their.
I think,
Huh?
yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The armbands and the hats.
Yeah.
Yes, they're so cool. They make
have some
really
primo
cool
stuff. They're thick. Yeah.
man.
Samara has a pink one,
Mhm.
and it has like their emblem on there. And then I have what are those called?
Sweatbands.
Sweatband. I have a
Sweatbands
sweatband.
there, and they got them made
Yeah.
just for the guitar
Oh
players.
yeah, and I got
drummers and
a
everything.
work
And they got the
shirt.
thick ones for the drummers too, because
Yeah.
we sweat like this.
That's
I
right,
got
right?
they got the whole arm
agree.
thing too now. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I
Really?
didn't see
I
that
have to
one.
get
Yeah,
that.
they got a
Check
whole
that one
arm
out.
thing on there. But anyway, bestclothingcompany.com. Definitely, that's a good shout out. Good shout out.
Very cool.
Oh wow, yeah. You got anybody you want to shout out?
I have another one first.
Steampunk
Audio Steampunk. Audio.
Audio Labs. That's
Yeah.
right. That's where
Yeah.
we recorded both of our records.
Yeah.
Casey Weaver at the helm at Steampunk Audio Labs. So if you want a good quality recording, get a hold of me, or you can get a hold of Casey Weaver at Steampunk Audio Labs. Tell them the Two in the Chest sent you, and you give you a heck of a deal.
My shout out would have to be Royal Crown Cola. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Royal Crown Cola. RC Cola.
Right on. I'd like to thank a few of my sponsors too today while you're listening. Salon 51. They don't do nothing but play with my hair. They're the crazy ones that do all the goofy stuff to my hair at all these shows. But they're amazing. I love those chicks. Dawn and Michelle, you guys are wonderful. I got so many things I want to. Also, you guys, I want to thank Onstage Dance Academy. They're wonderful. We got to thank Band Oasis for doing some amazing things for us. And Rich, who's our big one.
Oh, with a big one. Bad Boy Guitars. That's right. Yeah, we got got to do Bad Boy Guitars. Those guys created the RO6 Metatron. They totally created this massively awesome guitar for the Reverend Jack McBride, and I am beyond thankful. Just amazing guitar builder. This luthier is something else. You definitely got to get a hold of them if you want a custom built guitar to you and your style. Definitely.
Very awesome.
Bad Boy
They do
Guitars.
great things. One more shout, I give it to the awesome KJ for helping me out and keeping me on the air when all else fails. You're amazing. You guys, you ready to take it home for me?
Let's do this.
Take us out of here.
We are Two in the Chest, and you're listening to James C. Starke Radio.
Oh yeah, baby. Peace. We are out of here.